Okay, imposter syndrome, the buzzword these days. And I just thought I would just talk about that a little bit. And let's talk about that. What on earth is this imposter syndrome? And maybe share a little bit of my own story. Now that I've just said that, I'm just recalling, at the time, it did not even look like it. So anyway, I'll get into that story. Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Damaris and I am the head coach at Dama Unleash. Please, if this video speaks to you, if you like this video, click like, click subscribe, and put on the bell so that you can get notification when I do post new content. If this content speaks to you, please also like and share this with your friends, your loved ones. Okay, so yes, imposter syndrome. All right. Imposter syndrome apparently is when you feel, when you are doing something, especially in the professional space, right? When you are doing something and it feels like you do not necessarily deserve to be doing that. Say for example, and I don't know whether this is experienced by everybody, but I have seen a lot of it, especially with Black career women or Black women in general, where Black women are trying to take up space, right? Then there's this thing that comes through, and a lot of the times it's not even just something that comes from within. A big part of it is from within, but there's also evidence from other people. Some people can be talking about, she's not supposed to, or she only got that job because she's Black. As an example, she only got that job because, or that position because she's Black and she's a woman, right? So when you do get the job, you start asking yourself, is that the reason, right? Especially in our time of affirmative action, when we took over as a nation after apartheid, there were measures put in place to try and bring back balance to the workspace, to the business space, and with that came a lot of programs that were meant to help people get to and bridge that gap between the Black people and the white people. So that's just a bit of an interpretation from my side, and I just want to tell you a little bit of a story. I do still suffer sometimes from imposter syndrome, and I actually saw a post recently. I think it was another influencer, Nedra, and she was talking. I don't even know if we can refer to people here on YouTube, but she was saying that you cannot be an imposter if you've got the qualifications, right? And this got me thinking that as qualified as I was for my position, there still came that thought that maybe I shouldn't be here. And the more I was trying to fight that thought, I would then find myself in spaces where I was I was a laboratory manager at that time. That was a shock of my life. We were busy in one of the strategic sessions. Excuse me. We were busy in one of the strategic sessions, and we were talking about a new employer, a new management team members. And it had been, for me, more than 5 years. And I think we were talking about the pipeline, career pipelines and stuff. I cannot recall exactly. And one of my colleagues said to me, so you, Dama, as a new manager. I thought that was a mistake, right? Because firstly, I did not consider myself a new manager after 5 years. But the person said to me, you as a new manager, what are your thoughts? And I think I must have glitched, right? I must have glitched because my name in that sentence or in that question, they did not make sense. And I think I was walking out of the conference room. I looked back and I'm like, are you talking to me? And he said, yeah. I'm like, okay, what's the question? He said, no, I wanted to know what you feel about that part of whatever we were discussing as a new manager. Oh my goodness. Now, as a new manager, right? And in that moment, I felt, what? New manager? And I said to him, dude, well, I did not call him dude, I called him by name. I said, but let's call him dude today. I said, dude, do you recognize that I've been in this position for the past 5 years? And I've been performing in this position. So at what point do I no longer, in your opinion, do I no longer become a new manager? I don't consider myself that, right? So that was the response in that moment. However, that took me aback for a few weeks, maybe months, where I started asking myself, so after all this time, am I still considered a new manager? And that just then perpetuated this whole, I will never ever be good enough for this position. So this thing, even though it was probably trying to go away, this fear that I am not supposed to be there, I'm not supposed to be taking up that space, it was now starting to come back and become more and more pervasive, because I started asking myself, so if after 5 years I'm still seen as the new girl on the block, when do I now become knowledgeable? When do they now look at me as part of the team and not just work on me as a new person? Now I started asking myself, are they treating me with kid gloves because they think I cannot manage? But that did not make sense, because I don't believe that I was treated with kid gloves. I believe that I was treated in probably the same way, if not harshly, because of being a woman, right? I was treated the same way as my colleagues. But here they were, the team that I was belonging to, or I thought I belonged to, that thought of me as a new manager, even 5 years down the line. So this thing with imposter syndrome, sometimes it's not just when we doubt why we are there. It's when we maybe have an inkling of a doubt, but this inkling is then made worse, is exacerbated by those in those spaces that tend to question why we are there, right? So I just thought, let me tell the story of when I when I found myself having to fight this imposter syndrome, and then but because somebody else was trying to put upon me and put this box around me to say that no, I cannot therefore be there and be seen as as an equal contributor. I will always have this label of a new kid on the block, right? So this is just one angle. I know we focus sometimes a lot on the fact that this is something that comes from within, but let us also look at the fact that it's not always just from that. There are so many things that are coming in that are feeding this fear. Let's call it a fear, right? This fear that you are not good enough, and that brings you down. So now you need to find ways of quietening these voices that are physically out there and are real, and they're not just in your mind, though they are feeding something that you are already probably thinking or have been fearful for. But the fact of the matter is, they are also there. Now you have to work with those voices, your own fears, your own voices. It can become so messy, right? So now you need to do the work to ensure that when those kind of things happen, you are able to to work through them and get to the other side without them holding you back. So if this spoke to you, if you resonate to this, please let me know. Please like my channel, like this post, and share it with others. Maybe they will also resonate with what I have said here. My name is Damaris from Dama Unleash, and it was fun telling the story, remembering these stories. All right, and that's it for today. Bye.